Okay, this is part 4 of lesson 5.2. Now we're going to look at some word problems and how to use solving systems of linear equations in a word problem. So it says, if we look at our first problem, whoops, pull this down, there we go. It says high-speed internet provider A has a $100 setup fee and costs $60 per month. High-speed internet provider B has a setup fee of $35 and costs $65 per month. Let T represent the total amount paid in dollars and M represent the number of months. So we have these two equations where we can have time, or the amount that it costs, and the months. Well, the first thing we can do, it says the system of equations can be used to represent this situation. How many months will they cost the same, and what will that cost be? Well, first, we can take these two equations and set them equal to each other. So 100 plus 60M equal to 35 plus 65M. And we can solve for M and figure out how many months it's going to be before they're equivalent to one another. So I can subtract 60 from both sides and 35 from both sides, and I'll get 65 is equal to 5M. Therefore, M is going to be 13 months. So now the question is, how much will it cost? Well, I can now take this 13 months and plug it into any one of these equations. So I could say T equals 100 plus 60 times 13. If I do that, T is going to equal $880. Okay? Pretty simple. All right. Our second problem, it says a boat travels at a rate of 20 kilometers per hour from its port. A second boat is 38 kilometers behind the first boat when it starts traveling in the same direction at a rate of 24 kilometers per hour to the same port. Let D represent the distance the boats are from the port in kilometers, and T represent the amount of time in hours. So you can see here's one boat traveling 20 kilometers per hour, and it's got a 38 kilometer head start. And then the second, and then you could also say if a boat was traveling at 24 kilometers per hour from that same port. So we can use this system to find out first how many hours will it take for the second boat to catch up to the first, and then how far will the boats be from their ports. Well, first, if we want to find the hours, which is T, that's the time, we can set these two equations equal to each other. So we've got 20T plus 38 is equal to 24T. Rearrange this equation. 38 equals 4T. And so T is going to be about 9.5 hours. And yes, you can have a decimal because we're talking about time. Time is a continuous thing. And now we want to know the distance they will have went. We can simply take this time, 9.5 hours, and plug it in for T to either of these. The easiest one would be the simpler equation. 24 times 9.5. D is going to be equal to 228 kilometers that they will have traveled in the time of 9.5 hours. And that's another way, another example of taking a couple of equations that are derived from a word problem and solving them the same way we would solve a system of linear equations.